back to Inside Our Triangle, where we think outside the box. My name is Teray, and today's Struggle Puff meal is going to be number 6, or number 6 in sign language. This will be the 6th Struggle Puff meal. Today's recipe is going to include Spam, which is a cabinet staple for most of us. You should have this in your cabinet. If not, then maybe you'll have an off-brand like Armour or something like that. It does not have to be this particular flavor. They've got bacon, they've got turkey, and they have regular Spam and so many others. So just grab Grab a can of Spam and come along with me on this journey. We're going to make 3 recipes. Let's get started. So for today's recipe, you'll need just a few ingredients. You're going to need the star of the show, Spam. Again, you can use any flavor you wish. You're going to need some shells and cheese. I bought some Knorrs. They're like $1 at Walmart. You'll need some butter. It does not have to be Parquet. It does not have to be butter. It could be margarine. It could be apple butter or just regular butter. And then you're going to need unsweetened almond milk or just regular milk. I am lactose intolerant, so that's why I have the almond milk. You can use oat milk if you wish. You can use low-fat milk. It's totally up to you. And then you're going to need cheese. Okay? Today's recipe is going to be Spam and mac and cheese. But we're going to make it into a casserole, so it'll be a heartier meal. So make sure you have these ingredients. Go ahead and put your pot on the stove with water, about 4 cups of water, and place some salt in there. Bring it to a boil, and then we will be right back. Now that our water is boiling, we'll want to go ahead and salt the water to help flavor those noodles. We're going to place a little bit of oil in the water. It can be any kind of oil, vegetable, canola, peanut, or even like a stick of butter. Not a stick, a little tab of butter. Okay? And then we're going to add our shells. You can use Velveeta. You can use Knorrs. You can even use regular shells without the seasoning. That'll be fine too. Let's go ahead and cut the top off. There we go. We're going to add this to the boiling water. And then you're going to follow the directions on your particular package. Give this a quick stir. And we're going to let that cook down until it's nice and tender. About al dente, because it's going to go into the oven. So we're going to make that about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. It got brought up to a boil. And then let's lower the heat. And I'll meet you back at our spot so we can go ahead and start cutting up that Spam. Got out the old cutting board. We're going to go ahead and take a small piece of paper towel, wet it, and place it underneath the cutting board. That'll help stop any kind of slip and slide that the cutting board might have. Okay? You'll need a knife and your can of Spam. Once you take the top off the can of Spam, just go around it carefully on the inside with the knife and it'll help slowly guide out your Spam. Put that on the cutting board. There we go. All right, and then what you'll want to do is slice your Spam. Now we're going to do kind of thin slices. Okay, can you guys see? Let's see here. Turn it this way. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so kind of thin slices. You still can't see. Let's try this. That's better. Okay. There we go. Kind of thin slices here for the Spam. You want to cut enough to cover the top of your casserole. I'll do one more. Okay, that should have been a little thinner, but still, that's fine. Then once you get this all cut we're going to cut it again in half. I'm trying to get the best camera angle for you guys. How about that? Okay. All right, so slice it up and then cut everybody in half. And I'll meet you right back. So the noodles are now cooked about 8 minutes al dente. We're going to add some salt, just a little bit more salt. Remember, you can adjust this recipe and make it your own. You guys like more salt? Sure, put that in. You like a less salt? Fine. You want a salt alternative? It is now officially your recipe. So we're mixing that in. We're going to add some butter. I have my spray. You can use a stick of butter. You can use a half a stick. Again, make this your own. Okay. I want mine nice and buttery and glossy. And then we're going to add cheese. Now, usually I would have a ton of sprinkled cheese, but I'm using what is on hand. That's why these are struggle puff meals or struggle meals, dorm meals, inflation meals. Use whatever you have. This cheese is just as fine as cheese. Okay. I'm using American, but you can switch it up. If you've got a couple of extra dollars this week, you can get Gouda, buy mozzarella. You could try a combination of all of them. Mix this in. I think I'm going to one more, well, maybe two more. Two more slices of cheese. I want mine nice, cheesy, and gooey. Now, while I'm adding the cheese, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That way, once we get into the casserole dish, everything will be ready. Because basically, what we're doing is we're just going to cook the Spam, which is on top, and melt the cheese. And that does not take very long. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of milk. Remember, I'm using unsweetened milk. You may use whatever milk you have on hand for your recipe. Okay, we're going to give this a good stir. I want a little more butter. And because I'm putting quite a bit of butter in here, I am not going to butter my casserole dish because it shouldn't stick. But if you only use a little bit of butter for your recipe, then lightly the casserole dish. Okay, so I'm getting ready after I have the camera. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven. I'll place this in the casserole dish. And we'll go ahead and top it with Spam. The oven is preheated. The noodles have been drained and the cheese sauce has been added. I'm going to add a little bit more paprika, just for color, and a little tiny bit of spice. And then so I have placed the Spam slices all over the top of the macaroni and cheese. Remember, there is another layer of cheese under the Spam. I add a little bit of paprika, but I think I want just a touch more. Just a touch. And black pepper, so just a little bit of black pepper. And this guy is going to go into the oven, which is my air fryer. And then in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Need all the way the cheese to melt. So keep your eye. It shouldn't take 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm going to in after 5. This guy's going in the oven. Here is the macaroni and cheese and Spam. Looks delicious. We've got all those different cheeses in here. And then we've got the toasty Spam. Listen to that crunch, that crust. This is meal number 1 using Spam. Here's your bite. Those shells and cheese. If I could stop hitting the camera, this one's for you. So we just finished struggle puff spam meal number 1. Let's go ahead and do number 2. So I was thinking, what else can you do with spam? Spam is like ham. It's like a pork product. So I was thinking, okay, I thought I was recording and I'm not, so please forgive me. Over here I'm boiling the potato for my husband's dinner. He wanted to add a potato to his meal, so that's boiling over here. I've got the tortilla with butter in the pan. I'm going to flip it over. It does not take very long for them to get nice and toasty. Maybe even a minute on each side. I'm going to do 2. And then in the meantime, I have chopped up my lettuce. I have secured my sour cream, and I also, something else I did. Got cheese. That's right. I still had a little bit of shredded cheese left from the last spam recipe, so I went ahead and saved that over to the side as well. This is ready. I'm going to put the spam in. I've done the spam 2 ways, and you can do the spam any way you want to, but I'll show you both ways. Here we go. So I have the pan on medium heat, a little bit butter, just a little bit. I just don't want the spam to stick. And then I have done the spam 2 ways. One way will be long strips, so you just take the spam and you cut it lengthwise. Then the other way is I just shredded it. So that way you can just fill your tacos that way if you want a variety. Just go ahead and throw it in the pan. Well, not throw it, but carefully place it in the pan. I love that sound. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're liking the Struggle Puff meals. It really does help my channel. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I'm going to brown up this spam, and then we'll go ahead and start assembling. And it is the same scenario. This is our toasted tortilla. Here is our shredded spam meat. Put that right in the middle, nice and toasted. And then whichever toppings you wish. We'll do some lettuce, onions, cheese. If I can get it open. Tomatoes. Now remember, you don't have to do this in the same meal. I'm just doing it so you can see a variety of ways that you can make this taco. You can do it with the shredded spam or with the strands. And then your sour cream. All right. That is spam meal number 2. Struggle puff meal number 3, using spam. So the ingredients you'll need is ketchup, mayo, spam. Remember, we still had spam left over, and bread or a hamburger bun, that's fine, or even an English muffin. Again, we had leftover spam from spam meal number 1 and number 2. We're now going to slice that into slices. You can make them pretty thick because we still got a nice little chunk left. We were able to make 3 decent meals out of one can of spam. If you have a large family you're making this for, then you will want to get 2, maybe even 3 cans of spam. Spam is not that expensive. You can get it for under $3. All right, so now we have it in slices. We're going to fry it up in the pan and bring it right back. And here is the finished product. A nice spam sandwich. I'm getting it fresh from the pan, and I even had 2 little chunks of spam left over out of that can, and I'm just going to use for snacking. You want to pile it up on your bun, nice and tall. I grew up with them just being on the bun with mayo and ketchup. You can substitute the ketchup for mustard. You can actually add the lettuce and tomatoes and onions. This is your sandwich. You can hook it up however you want. That is a Spam sandwich. So we have made 3 meals from 1 can of Spam. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. And remember, these are difficult times with inflation and gas prices and COVID. So please take care of yourself and one another. Let's look at this delicious ham sandwich. I am ready to take a bite. Filling and delicious. Okay, and stay tuned because I am going to show you one of my new grandcats. Bye, guys. He is honestly more dog than cat. Squiggles. He is only motivated by food. But he's my little guy. Say hi, Squigs. Omni. Say goodbye. Bye.